I'm Rita May, and I help smart-driven people overcome emotional eating, binge eating, yo-yo dieting, and food obsession. I work mostly with high achievers who strive to be excellent in everything they do. They also have the belief that they can do everything and they don't need to rest. And they can actually do everything very well. So when you tell them that they should ask for help, they think that it takes much longer to explain someone how to do it than doing it myself. They can't say no to a request because what would others think, right? So they do everything, they please everyone, they have no boundaries, and they are on the very bottom of their to-do list. No wonder they use food to relax, to comfort themselves, and as me time at the end of the day. Because sometimes we eat just because we need a break from work, from stress, and from life in general. And we just want to release tension, numb out, and just not think, zone out. And eating can help us do that. But self-care activities could also do that for us, right? Because when you take time to rest, your unconscious mind doesn't force you to take a rest or take a break by suggesting you that you should eat. Because while you are eating, you are not doing something else, right? You are relaxing. You are taking a break. But if you just take a break, you could regulate your overdriven nervous system. But when I suggested this to my high performer clients, instead of thinking that now I can relax, now I can rest, in their mind, it was just another thing to master, another thing to do excellently, another thing on their to-do list. So these self-care activities actually created more pressure, and their bodies still needed a way to release tension. They still had this internal pressure to do something. So their unconscious mind and their body still forced them to have sugar, snacks, overeating, to release this pressure. So I realized that the goal is to decrease this internal pressure without adding something to their to-do list. So it needs to be something tiny little things that can remove layer by layer this internal pressure without making it a thing, making it something that they schedule or they have to put on their to-do list. So I wanted to give them something to interrupt this override of their need for a break or rest in a few seconds. And then these tiny little things, repeated casually, can change the baseline for this internal pressure for them. So that's the skill I want to teach you today. I want to teach you these small, almost invisible things that you can do to interrupt the internal pressure without effort. So the first thing I want to show you is a very tiny thing that you can use to interrupt this pushing forward. Because when you are really working hard, you're pushing forward, you're working, right? And you have this stressed pushing forward feeling, right? So this tiny thing is just leaning back. That's it. Nothing else you need to do. Leaning back is a signal of not pushing forward. So you interrupt that pushing forward just for a few seconds, and you can continue. Because stress eating usually comes from momentum, this pushing forward. You never stop, right? You're always pushing forward. The next tiny thing is going to be a subtraction. Instead of adding something to the to-do list, we will remove something. Because when I say to my high achiever clients that just relax your whole body from top of your head to your toes and just feel this relaxation going down on your whole body, they think it takes too long. They don't want to do it, right? It's just, they don't want to do it. But if we just remove one thing, then they can do it. So if you notice that your jaw is clenched while you're working, then just relax your jaw. If you notice that your shoulders are up, then just relax them. That's it. Nothing special, right? But it can make a big difference. We are not adding anything new. We are just removing something that's already there. Your jaw was clenched and we relaxed it. Your shoulder was up, we just let it down, right? It's nothing that you have to put on your to-do list. For example, last week I tried to finish something very quickly and I didn't notice that all day my shoulders were up at my ears. I only realized that at the end of the day when my shoulders had muscle pain. So if you notice that your jaw is clenched, your shoulders are up, or your pelvic floor muscles are squeezed, because we women tend to do that, then just release them. That's it. And you don't have to plan to do this. Only when you notice that you are doing it, just release it. Another tiny pressure interruption is focusing externally. Because when we are in this stress pushing forward state, we are in our heads, right? We are overthinking everything and just thinking very hard, right? And doing. So I want you to get out of your head and just look at a thing in your room. It could be the wall, the window, an object on the table, and just let your eyes rest on that object. You don't need to do anything else. You can let your vision blur a bit, and you can tell yourself, if you want to, that during these few seconds, nothing is being demanded from me. Because that's often what food is providing you, that feeling that nothing is demanded from you. And the last little thing I want to show you is creating micro endings. Because high achievers are often not only stressed because they have a lot to do, but also because there is no clear ending. They always think about the next thing to do. The nervous system always looking for and anticipating the next demand, the next thing to do. That's why they can't relax, right? And that's why overeating often happens during transitions. For example, transitioning from work to the evening activities, or transitioning from the evening activities to going to bed. These are very common times for overeating because there wasn't a clear ending of one thing. Or when you finish a task, you go and have a snack because that's your break. Instead, you could just take a break, yeah, without the snack. But you finish one task and you go and have a snack. And then you do this all day. I had clients who did that all afternoon and she couldn't stop. And that's why she gained weight. So this next powerful regulation is creating micro endings, clear endings of things. So when you close your laptop, when you stand up from a chair, when you come home from work and close the door, when you sit down to eat before the first bite, or when you finish eating after the last bite, or whenever you finish a task, just let out a breath through your mouth a bit longer than the inhale, and like trying to fog a mirror. But you don't have to do it perfectly. The whole thing is just letting out a breath. Almost like a sigh, right? And that signals a clear ending of the task. But it's not breath work, you don't have to do it properly, just a breath. That signals ending, because this teaches your body that it doesn't have to stay in this braced state all day long. You can just relax for a few seconds. And it prevents emotional eating or binge eating because it lowers this internal pressure, right? And when the pressure drops, the urge to use food to drop pressure, to help you drop the pressure, decreases, right? Your body doesn't need food to regulate anymore. And after a few weeks, my clients often say things like, I don't rush to food the same way. I pause without trying to, or I don't fear that panicky edge anymore. And they can't even explain why most of the time. And that's the point. They can't intellectualize it, they can't overthink it, they can't plan it or make it a big thing. It just happens and works. So how to use this in your daily life in just a few seconds. Remember, it's not a routine. You don't have to plan it. You don't need to remember it. You just need to do it enough times so your body chooses to do it. Your body remembers it because it feels good. You don't have to consciously remember it. Just your body will remember it if you do it enough times. So just let it happen before your first bite, after the last bite, when you finish a task, when you get home, when you feel the urge to overeat. Just let it happen. So just so your body can remember it more next time, let's practice it for a few seconds together. Okay, I want to invite you to a very short little thing to do together. Okay, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it, but you have nothing to lose, right? So wherever you are sitting, just lean back. Even 1 centimeter is enough. And now, without changing your breathing, just let your jaw relax and your shoulders drop. And let one exhale leave your mouth. And let your eyes land on something in the room in front of you. Just let them rest there. Maybe you can say yourself during these few moments, nothing is demanded from me. And that's it. It was, I don't know, 10 seconds maybe, or even less. And probably you feel the pressure dropping. And that's what food tries to create for you. And that's the shift we are aiming for before eating. Because food becomes the problem when that's the only place where pressure drops. And that's what really my work is about. We are not micromanaging food or restricting food. I'm not demanding discipline from you. I just teach you how to let your system, nervous system, body, drop the pressure so food doesn't need to do that for you. And if this perspective resonated, I created something for you, the change code. It's my free download. Because most people, when they want to overcome their eating issues, usually change their food and their environment. So they buy all the healthy food, throw out all the junk food, don't let anyone to bring junk food to the house, and with willpower and restrictions, they try to change their eating patterns, right? But in this change code, it's a free 8-episode private podcast series. I show you the deeper layers and the root cause of your eating patterns. And it's about changing those internal conditions that make emotional eating or binge eating necessary, and show you how to make it unnecessary. You will find the link below and you can explore it on your own.